This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Jade Empire. In the last episode, we entered into the Scholar's Garden as well as talking to the princess, or I'm sorry, Silk Fox, and heard some stuff from some supposedly wised men, though I don't know how wised they are in such a backwards place like this. I'm sophisticated, damn it. Anyway, we're continuing going through the Scholar's Garden, see who else we can talk to, and, earlier, I could have swore I heard like a weird laugh of jovialness off in the background in this place. Yeah, it's probably my imagination. Oh, and in the last episode I mentioned like a game that I was talking about that I liked, that one of the philosophers voiced it would sound like a character from the game. It's called Rogue Galaxy. I think you can get that on the the PlayStation Network or something similar for like $5 or $10 or something like that. But anyway, on to Jade Empire.
Greetings and welcome to the Scholar's Garden. I am Philosopher Zhao, one of the many masters you will see here during your visit. I see by your accoutrements that you are not from the Imperial City. I hope your visit here is one of fulfillment and success. As Sagacious Tien once said, more valuable than silk are new friends in a foreign land. If you need anything, I will be glad to assist you.
What are you master of anyway? Just having good lines? That is actually... Good friends are hard to come by, I guess is what the basically saying is. You're too kind, thank you. I need to ask you questions. I didn't ask for your help or a new friend. Actually, I should be going. Well, he wasn't rude to me, so you were too kind, thank you.
As Sagacious Tien once said, kind words and respectable attire are seldom a sign of true character. Only deeds reveal the intent of the soul. I am glad to help you in any way I can.
Deeds, you say? You haven't heard the deeds I've done. They make your skin crawl. Thank you. May I ask you some questions? Tell me about the ways of Sagacious Tien. I should begin. Thank you. May I ask you some questions?
I am honored that you would ask me, though I must warn you. The teachings take a lifetime to learn and cannot be taught in a day. Perhaps I could explain the core principles of Tien's teachings. I could recite the history of Tien if you like.
Well, I mean, you couldn't teach me in a day with an attitude like that. But okay, I'll let you give me the short version. Explain the core principles of Tien's teachings.
The teachings of Sagacious Tien are very simple, but the implications are astoundingly complex. At the heart of the teachings are the concepts of harmony and discord. Also referred to as the way of the open palm and the way of the fist, one cannot exist without the other, but neither can they coexist in one person. Harmony with the world comes from understanding your place in the world. An ant that believes it is a tiger will never achieve harmony. In other words, accepting your place in the world and using your skills accordingly is the optimal way of following the path of harmony.
Interesting. So, it's like this, the reason, their whole one without the other is obviously yin and yang, the force, good or bad. It's like all things. You know, light, darkness, and yada, yada, yada. And go on.
Discord is the other side of the coin. People who choose the path of discord seek their own advancement over everything else. These people will ignore the world and use whatever means necessary to raise themselves above their station. Sagacious Tien taught both harmony and discord to his students, for one cannot be fully known without the other. However, he himself followed the way of harmony.
Ah, I see. Huh, what a loser. Only winners follow the way of discord. Discord! Tell me the history of Sagacious Tien.
Sagacious Tien was the first emperor of the Jade Empire. He was a philosopher and a leader without compare, unifying the warring factions of his time. His teachings founded this great empire, though there was very little written about Tien himself. We do know that he brought peace to the people of the Empire, and since that time, his teachings have guided hundreds of generations of followers.
Like all things, I bet all his exploits or his sayings are a bit blown way out of proportion. Years and telephoning have made him out to be some sort of just like perfect person or something like that. I think I already asked that. Actually, I should ask you something else. Or did I? I already did.
The teachings of...
Okay. I don't know why. That's
Of
just
course.
different.
What would you like to know?
Okay, we already did Sagacious Tien. Can you tell me where to find that, even though we already found him? The Inquisitor Recruiter?
Ah, well, that is a delicate issue. The recruiter is not so easy to find. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you much more than that.
Then what good are you? And then we crack his neck. No, even though we weren't taught to him. The first guy we talked to told us where the guy is. So it's like, what's the point of having that dialogue available for anyone else, you know? What can you tell me about the Imperial City?
I am afraid I would not be the best person to ask, but there are others to whom I could direct you.
Same thing. What good are you? Crack, crack. Who else could I ask about the city? Or, you live here. Why aren't you familiar with the city?
A good question. I am sometimes saddened by the fact that I cannot participate more in the life that surrounds me. However, I forego these simple pleasures to remain focused on the learning and application of the teachings of sagacious Tien. Don't misunderstand me. I am content with the choices I've made, but doubts cannot be completely resolved, and the city is a constant reminder of my decision.
You are a sad, strange little man. You have my condolences. Anyway, bye-bye. No. Is there someone else I could ask about the city?
You could ask young scholar Zenyu. He spends a good deal of time in the city enjoying worldly pursuits, though he does not think his masters know it. There is also a man named Bai who works near the Imperial Arena. He is renowned for his knowledge of the city.
Yeah, we already talked to him, and we already talked to Zenyu. What good are you? Crack, crack. No. What can you tell me about the Scholar's Garden?
The Scholar's Garden is the seat of learning in the Jade Empire. The philosophers and scholars who live here dedicate their lives to the pursuit of wisdom.
Losers. No. Tell me about the scholars.
The scholars are dedicated to unlocking the secrets of the physical world. Many still follow the teachings of sagacious Tien, though some take their studies too far. I am certainly not opposed to their ways of study. Indeed, the scholars have made many wonderful and important discoveries.
Like all things, you need scholars, otherwise philosophers have nothing to bitch about. No, tell me about the philosophers.
We philosophers dedicate our lives to the study and teaching of the ways of sagacious Tien. We believe in peace and harmony and balance. Many find it difficult to grasp the significance or usefulness of our studies, but we assist anyone willing to learn the ancient teachings.
Just like real life. We already asked that.
Of course.
I guess that's it. So, well, good luck being a philosopher and all that. What's that one famous line? Like the philosopher, why? Why?
As you wish. With luck, the winds of heaven will bring us together again one day. Farewell.
Nope. By that I mean we'll never talk to you again. Huh. Well, there's a strange man over there who looks completely different from everyone else. We should talk to him. Not yet, though. I want to talk to everyone else before I do that. If, it's the thing I've been waiting for a long time. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I don't know when I unlock it. I'll unlock it when I get really close, but I don't want to unlock it quite yet. Charge that up. Ooh, a book. The Long Drought. The Long Drought stands as one of the worst periods in the Jade Empire's recent history. 10 years of scorching heat and little rainfall took their toll on the prodigious reserves in the Empire's granaries. The sages predicted at least 3 more devastating dry years, while those in the Ministry of Harmony watched the death toll mount into the hundreds of thousands. The Emperor Sun Hai declared the drought was over, and somehow it was. Through the Emperor's divine will, green restored to our parched land, and stability was restored. Huh. All he had to say is, he was like God, on the 7th day, and it rained and all that jazz. Oh, whatever. That's an interesting laugh. The physical universe. A final word. The world that we live in is not as simplistic as philosopher Yang would suggest in his treatise on the physical universe. His hypotheses regarding divine regulation of weather and seasons, though interesting, is nothing more than a child's tale made overly complicated. Recent research, led by scholar Deng Gao, has proven that our sessions in weather are much more than the careless whims of distant celestial beings. Our universe is made up of very real, very tangible components that can be carefully quantified and qualified. All those seem to be just arguments between the philosophers and scholars. It's like the same thing with engineers and architects. Not the exact same issues, but it has similar ideas behind it. Scholar Kong Yu? What, King Kong? Donkey Kong? Yeah.
I hope you're not here to pester me. I'm a very busy, important, and educated man,
Oh, I'm gonna love punching you in the face. No. Didn't we already talk to someone with your same model already? Yeah, that's gonna happen quite a bit in this game, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's not like he's a main NPC or anything like that. What sort of stories do keep you suspicious? If you find anyone suspicious, would you mind if I ask you some general questions? I should leave you to your thinking. What sort of studies keep you busy?
All manner of studies. The history of dramatic systems, applied theology, and, celestial integration. All of these are vital pursuits of knowledge. Not that you would understand such lofty matters.
Sounds like a lot of big words that don't actually mean anything, though I understand their meaning, but they're just said there to make you seem bigger than you actually are. Why don't you tell me more about the history of dramatic systems? I'm so interested.
Well, you see, drama can be broken down into several systems, and I study the history of those systems over time, how they've changed, and that sort of thing.
Wow, what a non-answer was that. I smell some bull crap. Can you outline some of these systems for me?
Well, there's the new system, of course, but everyone knows that. Then we have the old system, which, as you may surmise, is no longer in use. That's a brief summary of my latest work, at any rate.
Wow, that was nothing, dude. I've written papers like that before when I was in school when I just wanted to get the minimal grade for it. That sounds like something like, like someone who's not even trying, or someone that's trying to sound high and mighty, or by just trying to say a lot of words. I've heard some intellectuals, quote unquote, use this type of talking point before, or I've heard some talking heads do similar stuff like that, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's smart and intelligent." It's like, he didn't say anything. It was nothing. That was just word vomit. How have these systems changed?
Oh, it's all very complex, and I really don't feel like describing it to you at any length. That's how you know I'm a scholar, you see. An unwillingness to share all the information I have.
So how much did your daddy give to someone to make you appear to be a scholar? Or what college did you come out of to be a scholar? Sounds like some pretentious college kid or something like that, that just they've been to college and I think they know better about the world. I know people like that, folks. Believe you me. That's enough about the history of dramatic systems.
Too large a subject for your mind to comprehend, I'm sure.
Oh, you are not going to get far in the world, dude. What exactly is applied theology, anyway?
Well, it's the application of the study of theological things, isn't it? For instance, knowing about spirits and then finding a use for that knowledge.
Okay, that was actually kind of something. At least he did just go around in circles. I mean, it still didn't tell me anything, but at least that was something. Could you give me an example?
Well, no, not really. This is the study of applied theology, not the application of studied theology. That's something else entirely.
What? What? You're creative Yukong, aren't you?
Of course not. I'm... Ah, dread. This isn't working at all. How did you know?
Ha! Yeah, it was your word vomit, so yeah. We could have, well, I guess that meant we accidentally skipped out on talking to the lady, but yeah. I almost forgot that he was hanging around here. It's called a hunch. Your studies weren't very convincing. That's a pretty sad example posing as a scholar. It won't matter in a few moments. You'll be dead. No, yeah. That won't matter in a few moments. You'll be dead.
You're here to hunt me down, then. Lord Rento has it in for me, and I figured it would come to this. I don't suppose running would do me any good.
How did someone of your skill manage to con a noble anyway? If you run, you'll only die tired. If you run, you'll only die tired.
This is what passes for justice in the Imperial City? I was unjustly accused. I simply petitioned Lady Rento for some silver to support me as an actor. Patronage, it's called. She agreed, but her husband flew into a rage when he found out, and now I have a death sentence on my head. It's not fair. And if you were a decent person, you'd help me get out of this city instead of taking me in. It's the only way I'll get clear of Lord Rento's wrath.
Oh, you thought, oh man, you must be Creo Yukon to think I was a decent person. Oh, you don't know me too well, do you? Do you have any proof that you're falsely accusing? What would my help be worth to you? I think I'll help you instead of collecting your bounty. I'm not earning any silver talking to you. Time to collect a head. I don't want to deal with you right now. What would my help be worth to you?
I'll admit that I can't match the bounty on my head, but I could give you half of what they're offering. I have an idea how I could get out of the city, too.
Do you approve of falsely accused? I think I'll help you instead. I'm not earning any silver talking to you. Time to collect a head. Yeah, I'm not earning any silver. Yeah, you're going to give me half, and I feel good about myself? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not earning any silver talking to you. Time to collect a head.
All the best actors die young. If we're going to do this, I might as well get out of these robes.
Can you actually fight, dude?
Tempest!
Alright, let's do this. Yay! We murdered an innocent, possibly innocent man. But I don't care. Gonna get some money. Yeah, I think you could have talked to the Lady Rento, and she would have given you an idea that it was also obviously the husband blew a lid, thinking the guy was trying to take his lady from him, and then you could find him, and you could tell him what she told you, and then you could help him out of the city. I think you maybe get her help on that point, but no, we did the honorable thing, and we killed him. Yay for justice, and for rich people paying us money. All right, Tong Dawei, I don't know who you are, and you've got some Tong Dawei. Oh, what? Oh, I didn't see you there. Oh, I'm trying to get the voice out of him. This magnificent sculpture takes all of my attention, I'm afraid. Is there something I can help you with? Who are you? Don't look like a scholar. What's the magnificent about the sculpture? Who are you? The name is Tong Dawei. I'm a master excavator from the Valley of the Springly Stones. I'm here to oversee the installation of this fine specimen of a rock. I apologize. I sometimes get excited when speaking about one of our grandest treasures. The valley is truly remarkable. What makes this stone so slightly? Tell me more about the valley where they started from. What are you doing here if you're a master excavator? What makes the stone so springly? No one knows exactly. There are theories, of course. Some say it is divine. Others say it's simply a trick of nature. But the debate truly doesn't know. It's probably magnetic or something like that. The stones are remarkable, regardless of the reason for this springly behavior. I count myself honored to be able to work so closely with these wonderful stones. I feel like I've heard something like this in real life, but I could be wrong. I might be mixing up my fantasy from reality. Of course, looking upon the sculpture, it's easy to see why some believe that a divine had a hand in their making. Tell me more about the valley where these stones come from. What are you doing? Okay. Tell me more about the valley where these stones come from. The Valley of the Springly Stones is truly a marvel, discovered many centuries ago by explorers who saw the floating stones from some way off. Eventually, people came from around the Empire to marvel at the strange occurrence. It wasn't until Emperor Yu Baosi that the stones were used to build. The grandest achievement is the Imperial Palace itself, which floats above the city like a grand heaven. Of course, it uses additional magic to keep it aloft. What are you doing here if you're a master excavator? Everyone deserves a few moments away from work, don't they? Things will be fine at the quarry without me. I guess you have a point there. Besides, it's nice to see the stones on display. This sculpture of Sagacious Tian's head is like an unending well of inspiration to me. That's his head? Oh boy, that's kind of, I don't know, just something. I guess that's it. I need to go now. Yes, I have much to do myself. Good fortune to you. Well, that was interesting. I don't see what the point of that was. Well, there's some backdrop, I guess. All right, time to get to it. All right, let me save it because I'm gonna probably be in the middle of this whole thing because it takes a while. Well, not that long, but you know what I mean. All right, time for one of my favorite cameos in a game in a long time. Well, it's not my absolute favorite, but I like it. You'll understand why in a second if you're a fan of British comedy, if you know what I mean.
As amusing as your savage dances are, once again I have proven the superiority of setting your nose to the grindstone and not mucking about. Now bring some refreshments in a proper mug, or I'll take back the coins of my home and country. Don't you heathens know the worth of a proper king's halfpenny?
Generous visitor, if our customs are so displeasing to you, perhaps you should find lodging elsewhere?
Please?
And leave you lot to your primitive ways? Tell them what I think of that, Squire Percival.
Sir Roderick Ponce von Fontelbottom, the magnificent bastard, will do no such thing. He means to educate you all.
Good lad. Found him wading in the mud, planting weeds. You can't keep your crackers crisp doing that. Can't help you if you don't know the horror of a soggy biscuit. I've given him dignity, and unless one of you has the will to deny that I'm your better, I suggest you start learning. We'll have you in proper trousers by the morrow.
Oh man, Jesus Christ, you just blew that guy sky high with that metal tube. Well, we know it's a gun, but... Sir Roderick Ponce de Fontelbottom, voiced by the enigmatic, hilarious, awesome John Cleese. Round of applause, people. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause for John Cleese there. Yes. Yes. We get the awesome John Cleese voicing a ridiculous British man in a game about a foreign culture. Although his design looks more like a Spanish conquistador more than an English explorer. At least that's what it looks like to me. I like his design, over the top and arrogant, and it's like what was on his chest, like a cheese with a fork in it or whatever. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. All right, sir, your arrogance is astounding. We are cultured people. Who are you to judge some barbarian from outside the empire? You insult a noble and ancient people. Outlander! We've got your woman! No. Who are you to judge some barbarian from outside the empire?
What's that? Someone stepping to the fore? Let's have a look at you. You look quick with your fists, but I'll wager your head falls behind. Too much time slapping each other, and not enough time strapped to a desk in a decent classroom. The simple truth is that I have bested every one of you who has come forward, whether in tests of wit or combat. You faced a champion of king and country. Now, I didn't ask to land here, but if a storm is going to cast my ship into the very heart of such a dark empire, I'll bring the light of knowledge wherever I can. You must hunger for guidance. You're like children. I mean, only a handful of you can even grow a decent moustache. What kind of place is this?
It's the set. Obviously plays the over self-important noble. Obviously, it's supposed to be English, which the English were pretty bad about going to other cultures, and we don't know all the details, but basically taking them over, saying we're culturing you and all this other stuff. But you don't even have to point at the British specifically. You could point to any country that did that: the Dutch, the Spanish, the French. Even the country I'm from, America, we did that for quite a while actually, we still put our hands in too many people's business that we have no need to either go in all out or just leave it alone type of business. But yeah, the mocking can go all around, I tell you, all around. You blind yourself with prejudice, I can prove you wrong. We have nothing to prove to you. I'll make you eat those words, Outlander.
Is that your answer? To throw yourself into mindless combat? Only proves my point. A lot of you could bury me with bodies, but I'd still be your better. But if you want to bring more to the table, and a decent height table, none of this kneeling malarkey, I will grant you a chance to prove you are adequate. But I will acknowledge that I am likely to disagree just because I know you are, lacking. We will need educated men to judge the merits of our arguments.
Well, at least we're going to have someone else judging instead of you, who just either shoots people or just say, I win, and walks off. I've known people like that in real life, but they weren't voiced by John Cleese, so I can kind of forgive them for that. Arguments, what kind of contest are you looking for? Some sort of debate? Are you afraid to face me in battle?
Any dog can bite, but very few can speak. I've gone to pains to learn your barbaric tongue, only to find that none of you has much to say. I've heard a distinct lack of couplets and quatrains, to say nothing of pentameters. Is it any wonder you people live as you do? I charge you with defending the heart of your people. If a group of judges determines that you have adequately done so, I will declare you the winner.
I am a barbarian by heart, but I wish to prove to this man and this strange man who strangely dressed and strangely speaks, yet somehow can be humorous in his own dry way, needs to be taught a lesson. Very well, I agree to this. Who shall judge? I'll humiliate you here and in combat later. This is no way to compete. Let combat decide.
Not until you've earned the right. Your people claim to be honorable. If you attack without my agreement, you'll have proved my point. You've already seen the results of that. The young man before you wanted to progress to combat without meeting my conditions. I soundly put him down.
Yeah, but if a fist gets... A gun only works if you can get it off, especially if you have an old... From what it looks like, you have an arquebus or something like that, like black powder and all that stuff. I could get to you before that, but... Wow, it sounds like combat is out for the second part. Very well, agree to this. Who shall judge? I don't agree this is a waste of time. I'm trying to remember if that actually ends in combat or whatever. I don't agree. Well, I can always reload and get back to this point if it does. You know, it's been a while since I've done straight, because sometimes going full on negative, sometimes like can lose out on certain rewards, so you have to be careful about that. I don't agree to this. It's a waste of time.
So for all of your complaints about me being closed-minded, you refuse to debate me? It's as I said, you are a backward and unenlightened people. Return when you have the spine to put your mind to the test. Until then, go plant a field or some such.
Okay, so we can go talk to him later. So let me talk before we start. Is he? Are you just gibbering on, John, during this part? He's just randomly talking and laughing. Huh. Ooh. Before we talk more to Sir Roderick de Ponce or whatever, let's check this out. The mysterious East. Scholars know little about the culture that lies across the glass ocean. The tribes of that land have a sizable amount of gold and a near insatiable demand for silk and spices. They also seem able to manufacture metals to an astounding degree, though perhaps not in as sophisticated as manner as our master tradesmen. Still, something on the other side of the glass ocean bears investigation. Unfortunately, few trade fleets have ever successfully made the passage. Those trade caravans that do pass follow a circuitous route through an unenlightened peoples hostile to the Jade Empire. So we're kind of also, like, it seems like our scholars are just as arrogant as, like, Sir Ponce there, Sir Rodney de Ponce. One day I'll get that whole line right. I was actually trying to get it right before, while he was speaking, so I could kind of just impress you all with my skills, but, yeah. Well, let's see what the people say before we talk to this arrogant ass.
This is terribly exciting. New perspectives are rare in the Scholar's Garden. I hope someone takes up the Outlander's challenge.
Sorry, I usually don't curse, but every once in a while you just have to say it out there, so, What about you, my dear?
Someone must step up to Sir Roderick's challenge. If no one does, his points are proven.
I mean, we could just punch him in the back of the head and drop him in a river, and no one would know. All right, how do you get locked up into this Percival?
I don't understand a thing he says, but I don't understand much of what these scholars say either.
You make a good point, I guess, there, dude. All right. Hey, we've met your models already. There's clones, I tell you, everywhere. Attack of the clones. No, okay. See what you say.
I would debate the Outlander, but I'm not practiced in the application of what I know. I am a better researcher than presenter.
You're not a master debater, huh? I see.
Someone has to shut this fool up. He insults us all.
How about you? Oh, yeah, we talked to you guys earlier. I'm back.
I am supposed to be the servant of an educated man. Destiny is a trickster that does not share the joke.
Yeah, Destiny is a weird joke. I'll agree.
Everyone here overheard your talk with the Outlander. Why did you refuse his test? Weren't you disgusted by his insults?
Nah, I'm beneath such things. I'm beyond his petty attacks.
This is not an issue of name-calling. If he returns to whatever barbarian king he follows and says that we are simple and weak, who knows what might happen? We can't keep him cooped up in here forever. Sooner or later, he'll attract the attention of the Lotus Assassins. That's bad for all of us. Please, reconsider.
So you think he'd bring like his king and country to this land and try to take you over? That would be interesting for a sequel. That never happened. Now I'm sad. All right. Well, before we continue on, let me look at the journal. Let's see. The Outlander. It's easy to see why the Minister of Culture wants the Outlander removed from the Scholar's Garden. The man refuses to leave, and he seems determined to reform your culture, even if it takes him an eternity. Defend the culture of the Jade Empire. The Outlander seems convinced that your culture is lacking. It falls to you to prove him wrong. Well, folks, it looks like Sir Robert Ponce de la Flanbottom, or whatever it is, has deemed to smidge our honor. Will the spirit monk be able to restore the honor of the Jade Empire amongst this outlandish buffoonery foreigner? Find out next time in the next episode of Jade Empire. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.